The most alarming thing about your life, chosen one, is an undeniable truth. People are watching you, even when they go to great lengths to pretend they aren't. This realization should hit them like a sudden, cold wave of truth, because it cuts through the facade of indifference and directly into your current reality. The title of this entire message is not an exaggeration, nor is it merely a catchy phrase. All eyes really are on you. At this very moment, someone unexpected is observing your every move, your every quiet transition, and your every subtle victory. You might think I'm employing hyperbole, but if you step back and observe the recurring patterns, the universe consistently exposes the silent, deeply invested observers surrounding individuals who carry a powerful energy. The pattern is stark, simple, and illuminating. It's akin to watching a solitary, brilliant flame burning fiercely in absolute darkness. While the moths may claim they are unconcerned, or that the light holds no interest for them, their movements inevitably draw them closer. You are that unwavering flame. You possess a radiance that persists without conscious effort, a natural glow that draws in every insecure, comparison-driven soul around you, irrespective of their vocal denials. This is a subtle, powerful metaphor that the watchers never anticipate. They are drawn to your light not because they love it, but because it shines a spotlight on their own internal shadows and stagnation. Here is a psychological fact that holds far more weight than you might imagine. People are instinctively drawn to study what they deeply fear losing, rather than merely what they value. Whether or not they have the courage to admit it, your presence, your potential, and your upward trajectory create a palpable sense of nervousness in certain people. You make them question the security of their own position. You force them into comparisons with every single step you take on your journey, even during periods when you believe you are simply existing, taking a break, or going about your business. They are diligently taking mental or actual notes. The universe doesn't spotlight random people without reason, and you've been illuminated like a beacon pointing toward an uncomfortable truth. That truth, simply put, is that someone in your proximity, perhaps someone you least suspect, has been studying your life with an intensity they swore they'd never possess. They have been sharing your social media content, forwarding your messages, discussing your photos, and analyzing your smallest emotional reactions. They are compulsively replaying moments from your shared past that you've long since forgotten, but which they cannot let go of. The responses and reactions they've solicited from others regarding you would be enough to completely destabilize someone with a less resilient spirit. Chosen one, I extend my gratitude for your presence here. Before we proceed, I simply ask that you pay this message back by pressing the like button and subscribing to the channel. This small action helps to spread this vital message to other souls who need to hear it, making it our collective responsibility to keep expanding the reach of this light. Thank you for becoming an active part of this mission. Whether you fully grasp it or not, you are a vital component of a powerful force. Now, let's refocus on the central, unwavering truth of your situation. You have likely been moving through your life with the assumption that people weren't truly paying attention. You believed you were simply managing your own affairs, that no one was noticing the significant shifts you've navigated. Your growth, your healing, your necessary withdrawal from certain connections, or your energetic leveling up. The absolute reality, however, is the complete opposite. The universe is not subtle or quiet when it deals with souls of your caliber. You possess a unique, powerful presence that inevitably stirs complex feelings and reactions in others. When you enter any space, the energy dynamic shifts before you even utter a single word. When you decide to move on, pull back, or detach from someone, they feel the departure immediately, as if a sudden, cold wind has struck them at their core. When you consciously upgrade your mindset and focus, individuals who loudly claimed to be completely unbothered suddenly resume checking on your status and progress. You may not visually register their eyes, but you have undoubtedly sensed their attention. That strange, non-physical pressure, the random spike in attention, or the sudden, unexplained change in how people engage with you. This heightened awareness is occurring because you have reached a critical point where the observers around you can no longer successfully hide their deep interest. There's a distinct process here, when simple curiosity blossoms into profound interest, and when that interest morphs into something approaching an obsession. The universe provides subtle yet unmistakable signals that allow you to sense this level of scrutiny. This is precisely what you are experiencing now. Someone is watching. The watcher is someone you wouldn't expect, someone who, at one point, thoroughly underestimated, dismissed, or perhaps even treated you as if you were easily replaceable. Yet that very person is now emotionally and mentally glued to your life, consuming your journey like a gripping, non-stop series they are compulsively binge-watching. They are utterly fixated, and the reality of this hits with a surprising and uncomfortable force. Here's another profound truth that is perhaps more jarring than it should be. You don't need to be loud. You don't have to constantly post updates, engage in lengthy conversations, or deliberately put on a performance to impress. Your mere existence provides sufficient content. Your periods of silence are, paradoxically, what create the loudest noise. Your presence is the primary trigger for deep, powerful reactions in others. Your quiet, consistent growth forces people to finally confront their own perceived shortcomings and unaddressed flaws. Some people will genuinely admire your growth, while others will be consumed by envy. Still, others will struggle to intellectually comprehend your transformation. The critical point is that every single person around you, without exception, feels your effect. There is an individual who has been actively circulating your name, your images, your past messages, and your overall vibe among others. They are frantically soliciting opinions and searching for external validation. They are desperate for someone else to confirm what they already intuitively know about your profound value and potential, but which they are too fearful or insecure to admit to themselves. The responses that person received from others in their circle were what truly shook them to their core. Deep down, they likely anticipated negative feedback or confirmation of their past doubts about you. Instead, they heard the resounding opposite. They received confirmation of your innate value, your expanding light, your immense potential, and the powerful energy you now carry. This confirmation struck them with the sudden, physical force of a blow to the chest. It was the crushing moment when the person realized that they didn't just lose someone transient or easily replaceable, they lost someone truly unforgettable and unique. This is why the watcher is currently in a state of profound shock. Their surprise isn't rooted in some loud, dramatic action you performed, but rather in the person you have silently and diligently become. You have decisively outgrown the limited, predictable version of you they had trapped in their mind. You have evolved into someone they can no longer easily comprehend or control. The universe has highlighted you with such focused intensity that even the people in their social circle can clearly see your transformation. Chosen one, the simple, essential truth is this: you are currently being studied. This is not a casual observation. It is a serious, focused scrutiny. There is someone who is observing your life with the same intensity that people watch a dangerous, powerful storm from behind a window, attempting to understand the force outside without daring to open the door and experience it. This person desperately wants to know the how you consistently rise above setbacks, how you maintain your composure, how you manage to walk away from chaos, how you rebuild your life, how you attract positivity, and how you continue to shine brightly without ever needing to demand attention. They genuinely believed they knew you, but they are now realizing, with a painful jolt, that they never truly understood the depth and complexity of your character. You possess an innate life story that people can intensely feel, even if they have never heard the details. You carry an internal strength that, by its very existence, exposes the weaknesses in others. You radiate a deep sense of peace that naturally makes anxious people feel restless and uneasy in your proximity. Most significantly, you possess a soul that serves as a constant, unwelcome reminder to others of what they willingly lost, what they carelessly wasted, and what they will never be able to retrieve in its original form. This is the foundational reason they remain fixated on you. This is why the universe continues to draw their eyes and their attention toward your life. You are not background noise. You are the entire scene. You are not a bit player or an extra. You are the essential plot twist. Therefore, listen extremely closely to this final point. The individual watching you now is not doing so out of pure, unadulterated love or intense hatred. They are watching because they are utterly incapable of figuring you out anymore. You successfully became unpredictable, emotionally unreachable, and fundamentally unbothered by their actions or opinions. For anyone who once enjoyed easy access to your mind or your energy, this new version of you represents a profound and destabilizing threat. They are desperately attempting to understand the inner workings of how you managed to transform into the powerful, evolved version of yourself that they were entirely unprepared to handle. The truth that is currently being revealed to you is not intended to frighten you. Its sole purpose is to serve as a powerful confirmation of what your deep intuition has been persistently whispering to you for weeks. Someone has been methodically studying your light, your deliberate actions, your profound changes, and the shift in your energy, and the universe is making it clear. This is not a random occurrence. It is not an overactive imagination. Their observation is real, their intense curiosity is real, their palpable shock is real. All eyes are currently fixed on you, chosen one, but one specific pair of eyes holds a significance that is about to reveal a truth you genuinely never saw coming. Chosen one, thank you for staying with me throughout this entire message. Before we delve into the deeper specifics, now is the perfect moment for you to anchor yourself firmly into this truth. Drop a comment with 777 if you are fully prepared to face the reality of the eyes on you and the identity of the one who has been silently watching your evolution. Your support, whether large or small, helps to sustain this mission. You are now an active part of this collective force. Now lock in your focus, take a deep, steadying breath, and remain with me until the very end, because the upcoming realization will make every fragmented piece of information finally click into place. If you are truly a chosen soul, you will feel the undeniable pull to stay engaged until the very last word is delivered. Let's begin to unpack this step by piece. Anyone who vehemently pretends not to care about you is typically the one studying you with the most intense focus. Chosen one, this is the phase where things become deeply uncomfortable and messy for those who considered themselves your enemies or rivals. This next part is not about you experiencing increased pressure. It's about them finally cracking under the accumulated weight of everything they have struggled to conceal. They are the ones who are currently anxious. They are the ones restlessly pacing. They are the ones replaying your past interactions repeatedly, like a person with a guilty conscience meticulously rehearsing a plausible alibi. The wild, ironic thing about this situation is that they genuinely believed you wouldn't notice their scrutiny. They thought their pronounced silence and supposed indifference were sufficient to successfully bury their true intentions and feelings. They completely forgot the caliber of the soul they were attempting to fool. Do you want to know the unvarnished truth of what's unfolding? The heavy pressure you've been sensing isn't some generalized feeling randomly floating in the atmosphere. It is emanating directly from them. Your consistent existence, your undeniable success, and your mere presence force people to engage in uncomfortable self-reflection, a process that most are simply unable to handle. This inability to face the reflection is precisely why the atmosphere feels noticeably heavy and tense whenever you are near certain individuals. This is not your imagination working overtime. It is their raw, powerful, and uncontrollable reaction. It is their deep-seated fear finally leaking out through the cracks in their carefully constructed facade. And you've definitely felt it, haven't you? That strange, almost magnetic tension when their name suddenly crosses your mind for no discernible reason. That noticeable, immediate shift in the room's energy the moment you walk through the door. That suspicious, heavy silence when you speak, and they conspicuously pretend not to hear you, even though their attention is absolutely locked onto your every word. Chosen one, here is the absolute truth that they hoped you would never manage to figure out. You are not the one currently under pressure. You are the one successfully causing it. Think about their actions logically. Why do they consistently keep checking up on your status? Why are they continually stalking your profile using anonymous or fake accounts? Why do they repeat your words and phrases to others, almost as if they are attempting to break a difficult code? The reason is simple and profound. They possess a clear, undeniable understanding of your impact, your magnetic presence, and your significant evolution, a reality that even you haven't fully accepted yet. They see it, they feel it, and they are, quite frankly, choking on it. I know precisely what question is swirling in your mind right now. Why me? Why this intense, focused attention? Why this pervasive, strange pressure that seems to follow me everywhere I go? The answer is straightforward, because you are fundamentally not normal. You do not operate or move in the same way as the general population. You do not shatter or break under pressure like the rest. You refuse to shrink or withdraw when faced with adversity. In a world saturated with mimicry and echo chambers, you are the single, original, unmistakable sound. You are the clear signal that fundamentally disrupts their internal noise. Certain people simply cannot tolerate that level of genuine authenticity, so they resort to pretending you are insignificant while simultaneously obsessing over your life behind closed doors. People invariably slip up the precise moment they begin to talk about you. Their immediate, unguarded words reveal the uncomfortable truth that their practiced masks were trying so desperately to conceal. Chosen one, this is the moment where things are about to get exceedingly uncomfortable for the individuals who genuinely believed they could keep you perpetually in the dark. The truth of their observation and fixation did not arrive to you through some large, dramatic public announcement. It came through something far smaller, much quieter, and significantly more unguarded. Their raw, unfiltered reactions. You were never genuinely forgotten. You were never simply overlooked or dismissed. You were actively brought up in conversation because your growing influence had made you impossible to ignore. The moment your digital image or your name landed in their hands, three very distinct and revealing voices spontaneously rose up. These reactions were not rehearsed. They were not pre-planned. They were pure, unadulterated instinct, and instinct by its nature never lies. The first voice cracked open with a note of deep awe, their rare, almost unreachable. This was not an expression of simple admiration. It was an admission of reality. It was someone realizing, with a jolt, that you are not made from the same common cloth as the people who surround them. It was them finally comprehending that your unique energy doesn't simply sit on the same shelf as everyone else's. Your energy occupies the top tier, a space to which only a select few will ever gain true access. This is the kind of revealing comment people make when they observe that you are not easy to mimic, copy, or replace. Deep within their core, they understood that you were operating on a high vibrational level that made them feel inherently small and insignificant, and you didn't even have to consciously try to achieve this effect. The second voice cut with a much sharper edge. They intimidate me. There's something too powerful about them. And chosen one, that voice was absolutely not joking or exaggerating. That particular reaction was raw fear. It was a clear sign of their fragile ego cracking wide open. It was their deep-seated insecurities physically exposing themselves like a painful, broken bone pushing its way through the skin. When someone openly states that you intimidate them, and you haven't lifted a single finger to threaten them, that feeling is not fundamentally about your external actions. It is entirely about your powerful presence, your comfortable silence, your rising energy, and your unstoppable growth. You successfully became something they could no longer accurately measure or calculate. And absolutely nothing strikes terror into a fragile, insecure person more than encountering a force that they cannot quantify. But it was the third voice that fundamentally changed the entire equation. It didn't speak from a place of fear or raw envy. It spoke from a place of profound shock and genuine revelation. There's something distinctly different about them. I genuinely can't explain it, but I feel it. That single statement was the exact moment the energy in the room shifted dramatically. That was the moment everyone else was suddenly silenced, because this was not a mere subjective opinion. It was a powerful, undeniable admission, a spontaneous confession, a moment of hard truth that absolutely nobody in the room expected to hear. They physically felt your undeniable impact, even though they were only seeing you from a distance, or in a photo, or merely recalling a memory. That was the precise moment they all realized they were not interacting with a regular, easily understood person. They were dealing with a soul whom the universe itself seemed to deliberately highlight and endorse without seeking anyone's permission. Here is a quote they will never have the courage to admit out loud. The ones who pretend not to notice you are consistently the ones talking about you the most. Chosen one, this is the phase where things completely twist and invert. The person who deliberately placed your image in front of those three voices was not a random stranger. It was not some detached outsider observing from a neutral distance. It was someone you once trusted implicitly. Someone you allowed to get close to your heart. Someone who once had unfettered access to the old version of you. The softer version, the more forgiving version, the version that couldn't yet recognize the hidden knives concealed behind certain smiles. Imagine this scenario for a moment. Someone is holding a photograph of you on their phone, their hands trembling slightly, and they are passing it around to people whose faces you have never seen. They are anxiously waiting for those reactions, much like a deeply guilty person waits for a final verdict to be read aloud. That is precisely what transpired. The individual who shared your image was not seeking genuine reassurance. They were desperately seeking answers. They wanted to know how others genuinely perceived you, because deep down they had already sensed your profound, rising value, and were absolutely terrified that you, too, were about to fully realize it. People don't wear masks simply to fool you. They wear them because your inherent nature already terrifies them without you even making a conscious effort. Chosen one. This is the crucial moment where their carefully constructed masks begin to slip away, like cheap, worn-out tape during a heavy storm. Their deep, visceral reactions, the naked envy they tried desperately to hide, the desire they pretended was entirely absent, the fear they foolishly hoped you wouldn't notice. None of it was ever fundamentally about your conscious actions. It has always been entirely about your powerful, unavoidable presence. You enter a room carrying a specific energy that fundamentally exposes whatever uncomfortable truths people are desperate to avoid facing within themselves. You don't have to utter a single word. Your sheer existence functions as a relentless, unforgiving mirror, and inherently insecure souls possess an intense, visceral hatred for mirrors. Imagine the scenario of someone attempting to forcibly hold a large balloon underwater. The pressure immediately starts to build intensely. Their arms begin to shake violently, veins stretch tautly. They swear they have the situation perfectly managed and under control. But inevitably, that balloon will shoot straight up to the surface with a loud, exposing pop. That analogy represents them. That is their mask. They have been forcefully holding it down for far too long, trying desperately to maintain the appearance of being unbothered, while every single cell in their body is having a dramatic, internal reaction to you. They are rapidly reaching their limit, and the mask is now slipping uncontrollably, irrespective of their conscious will. Here is the part they hoped you would never, ever realize. Your consistent presence actively forces hidden, uncomfortable truths to rush to the surface. You are a force that does not allow people to comfortably stay neutral. You do not leave people feeling easy or placid. You compel them to intensely feel something profound. This could be admiration that genuinely frightens them. It could be a consuming jealousy they can no longer suppress. Or it could be a powerful curiosity they are unable to logically explain. Even the individuals who swore they were completely finished with you and your life continue to check your status, and continue to react to your every move. They observe your consistent rise, and they panic internally because your expanding glow makes their own established excuses for stagnation look painfully small and pathetic. And chosen one, you have likely been asking yourself repeatedly, why now? Why is everyone suddenly acting so strange and unpredictable around me? Why does the energy perceptibly shift the very second I walk into a room? The answer is simple and self-evident, because you have fundamentally changed. Your internal aura has become noticeably sharper. Your personal boundaries have grown stronger and more rigid. Your periods of silence carry a heavier, more significant weight. You successfully transformed into someone they can no longer easily handle, but, crucially, can also no longer ignore. Their old masks were only ever designed to handle and contain the old version of you. This new, powerful version exposes every single crack in their careful facade. Here's one final, clarifying metaphor for you. Picture a room where everyone is sitting indoors wearing dark sunglasses. As long as the light remains dim, they feel completely fine and secure. But the very moment someone flips on an extremely bright spotlight, those dark glasses immediately become useless. That spotlight is you. You consciously increased your internal intensity, and now every single person who thought they could successfully hide their true motives is scrambling in panic. One of those observers is about to completely break, not because they genuinely want to confess, but because immense pressure always seeks out and exploits the weakest point of resistance. Their confession, whether it comes through an accidental slip of the tongue, a sudden emotional message, an unguarded look, or a specific comment, will finally provide the necessary explanation for the persistent tension you have been sensing. It is not paranoia, it is full-scale exposure. It is the hard truth successfully crawling its way out of the shadows because your undeniable presence has relentlessly dragged it into the light. Their mask is not unraveling by accident. It is unraveling because you have bravely stepped into a powerful version of yourself that can no longer be successfully lied to or deceived.